listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keetin. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Kourtney and Kim Take Miami After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Kourtney and Kim Take Miami After Show.
Woo! What? Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Drink all day. What? What? Yeah. OG. Right.
I already drink.
What?
I know, you can have it all.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Just pretend you're thirsty.
Thank you.
What?
In that polka dot bikini.
Yeah! All right. Hello, you guys. If you are tuning in, this is the after show for Kim and Kourtney Take Miami. And you don't need to adjust your computers. We're coming to you on a Tuesday because this past weekend was Easter, so it was a holiday. So we weren't in the studio, so we wanted to come in and make sure we get a recap in for you as early as we could. So that's why we're all here today. Right, y'all?
Right.
All right, and we've got a full house tonight,
Yeah.
right?
Feels good.
Feels real good. Feels good. All right, sorry. I'll spare everyone from my singing, but let's go around the table and introduce everyone. To my left.
Hey guys, I'm Susan Hahn.
Hello, I'm Jason Ikeler.
I'm Keetin March.
And I'm Diona Vaughan, and let's dig right in. So I was actually really looking forward to this episode based off of the, scenes from the last episode, because like Kim is up to being, a private investigator and sticking her nose in business that
So was it everything you dreamt and more?
Now I'm like waiting for next week because I want to know what the hell the private investigator found out on Scott. Like, what do you guys think about her sticking her nose into other people's business like this?
She just needs to stop.
We've
talked about it earlier. Like, she's so nosy, and every time she like butts into somebody else's business, she gets in trouble or like there's a fight.
Well, it bothers me more because the private detective was like, listen, I just want you to know if you go through with this is going to change your relationship with your family member forever. You have to be responsible for the consequences of what we may or may not find out. And she was still like, okay, let's go for it. And
I'm glad he said that too.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he said that. And I can kind of see where she's coming from, but then it's just not her. Just not her place.
I was gonna say in her defense though, Scott's messed up so many times in the past that they're close, and she's got her sister's back. So I kind of see why. I don't know. She doesn't want to start drama between them, so just
right. But even Khloe was like, if you're
it.
gonna go look for something, you're gonna find something.
Yeah.
Exactly. And even though I know that that's her sister, and you want the best for your sister, I don't think it was her place to go digging around for shit.
Scott's been so good lately. I mean, I feel like in this episode we saw they try to really like kind of make Scott look bad again. And I feel like Scott's been on such a good track, and he seems like such a good dad, and he always admits his mistakes and he apologizes for them now. Like, why are we trying to make Scott out to be a bad guy? I love Lord Disick.
Obviously Kim
May the
doesn't
Lord
care.
be with you.
Praise. Obviously Kim doesn't care about boundaries though.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, they smelled each other's hoochies a couple weeks ago. So like, there's no, you know what I mean?
Hoochies
or
coochies. What do you call them? I don't know. But
smell each other's secret lady garden.
Or their Pineapple Express. But anyway, so I think that's just how their family works. They get into each other's business.
I know.
And I don't know. I think if I could afford to hire a PI on one of my siblings, I think it'd be funny.
I mean, but it's one thing to
But
hire
not if your sibling was married or like had children with.
Yeah, it's just playing with fire. And it's one thing to hire a PI, but a tracking device on his car, pulling up his phone
bill?
records, like that's
and she's like Scott's friend.
She's like white girl crazy though, and I just like to watch it.
White girl crazy.
You know what I mean?
Crazy, yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking about how like close this family is, nothing bothered me more than having Scott tell Kim to call up his mother-in-law, and ask about her egg count. I was like, who does that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how close you are, but that's crossing a line. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Scott, leave him alone, you know. But at the same time, let me ask you guys, do you think he's leading a double life?
No, because clearly we know that they're still together. And secondly, like, who doesn't have some sort of secret? It's like, I'm married, you know, I'm the only one married on this panel. You know what? My husband doesn't know about my like not because I'm hiding something.
I know.
But it's like, you know, I don't have a tracking device on him. He's still a human being, and he's still, I mean, as long as like he keeps his dick in his pants and he comes home every night, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you got to trust that relationship. And you know, I mean,
but what if he was coming home, like Scott's coming home drunk every night?
But that's my job to investigate it, not somebody else.
Okay.
And Scott doesn't come home drunk every night. Like, I feel like they blow it out of proportion every time he does go to these appearances and he comes back that, oh, Scott's drunk again, he's an alcoholic. Like, he's still in his 20s. Like, let him enjoy his life. Like, he has 2 kids. He's a great dad. If he needs to step out and have a good time with his buddies, let him. Yeah. And when he comes home, give him a few hours to recoup, and then he's back to being a great dad.
Here's what I want to know, though. What does he do for a living outside of the show?
Does he have a Ferrari?
Like, does he have a job? Like,
or Lamborghini?
He's got a couple like clubs
what does he do?
The restaurant in New York.
Yeah,
but I don't know. He used to do like Quick Trim, didn't he?
Quick Trim?
Or what's their?
Did he invested in it?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was
one. That's right.
I don't know if he still does that.
Yeah, because it seems like he sleeps all day.
Yeah.
You know,
and drinks all
night. He's in Miami, bitch. I mean, yeah. I'm just like, what do you do? Like,
but wait, was that a red Lamborghini or a red Ferrari?
It was
a red Ferrari, but he already has a white Bentley.
Right, and I mean, on top of that, he has a Mercedes. It's like,
and a
well,
house.
let's not be fooled. We know those are all leases or luxury rentals. Come on.
Well, and they're probably sponsored by him, or they wouldn't be able to show the logo.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
There's a lot of business going on there.
It's all smoke and mirrors, you guys. It's all smoke and
But I think Scott comes from money.
he does, but
his
I don't
family
know.
has a house in the Hamptons.
Yeah, but I don't know if he comes from like Ferrari money though. You know, because that's the same car as Kobe
He
Bryant.
definitely married into it.
Well, even that's still kind of up for question too. Like I mean, I think what we see isn't always, you know, what's real when it comes to people's lifestyles and what kind of money they have and what they're doing with it. You know, because you would think that, you know, oh, they own their cars and they own their homes outright. These guys have mortgages and car notes just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And they're renting that house. They don't own that house, right?
Oh,
yeah,
no,
they're renting.
No, that's a rental. Luxury rental.
Beautiful.
So do we feel like Kim was coming from a place of just really trying to look out for Scott, Kourtney, or herself?
I think a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she was just bored. I feel like they sometimes get bored, and like that's what, you know, she wanted to, she's like, oh, that could be fun. I'm going to investigate somebody in my family, Scott, because he's not really in my family. He's just kind of like
Kim gets an idea in her head, and she just kind of can't let it go until she tries it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to see if it's going to work. Well, just kind of like she went undercover with him to find that missing girl. I was like,
who's still missing.
Yeah. I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know where that all came from. Maybe she was watching too much Law and Order. Moving on. So I think this, you know, we've heard a lot about Khloe's fertility issues, her trying to have a baby with Lamar.
Coco's back.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about that just in the tabloids. And now for the first time, like, you know, she's really revealing it on camera. Like, what did you guys, were you expecting that?
I guess I'm not shocked that she was revealing it just because they reveal everything.
Yeah.
But I thought it was, you always see Khloe as like the sarcastic, funny one. So it's like sad to see her sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. But on the brighter note, I mean, Kourtney, I mean, she stepped up, and just for her, like, just Kourtney even saying something like that she would carry her sister's baby. I mean, that was just like the coolest thing ever.
That's love.
And I thought it was awesome also, the conversation that she had with Scott. Like, obviously, like, Scott was a little freaked out in the beginning. I get that. Like, it's kind of a scary thing to have, like, your significant other be like, I want to carry somebody else's child.
Right.
Especially a child that's going to be, like, Lamar and Khloe's, who are so much bigger than Kourtney. And then for him to go back and have that conversation, it just looks so mature, and it looked like a real moment.
Yeah.
Like, they were truly in love and having this conversation about, like, you know, doing this for another person they love. And I really enjoyed seeing that.
I love when Kim was telling Jonathan about it.
Oh my gosh.
Like, the leg is going to grow out your vagina. Because they're huge. like a tall way.
Well,
Yeah.
they're
tall.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both tall.
Because Jonathan
Tall.
is just thrown in there like randomly in every
know.
episode.
He's in every goddamn
Yeah,
episode.
speaking
think
of
he
what,
gets
like,
paid
what
to
does
be in the
he do?
Oh, I think he gets a check. Absolutely.
for
Oh,
sure.
he gets a check.
He's
And I
getting a
think
check.
he comes from money.
Yeah,
I
he
think
must.
Jonathan comes
I think he's
from
getting a
money.
check. I don't think we would have seen him nearly as much as we have on this season if he weren't getting paid.
Yeah.
And that's not to say anything about his friendship with Kim. I just think, like, you know, like they're hanging tight. Like, why
Yeah.
does he need to be in Miami? Because isn't most of his business either
New
New York or
York or
LA? So why need to be in Miami?
He has a place in Miami.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Rented.
Yeah. Smoke and mirrors, y'all. Smoke and mirrors.
Well, give me some smoke.
I know. I'll take it.
I'll take the Ferrari.
And how cute is Khloe and Mason? Like, I think she would make an incredible mom. I love seeing her interact with her niece and nephew. Just like the hide and seek, and even Kim got on the bed at one point and picked up a blanket. She's like, "Oh, that's Penelope's." You know, I like her a lot. She's I don't know, very endearing to me this season for whatever reason. You know, 'cause
Who? Chloe?
Chloe, yeah, because we've just seen a lot of her ups and
Yeah,
downs.
we've seen like the human side of her,
Yeah.
like the things with the X Factor and now the baby stuff. So it's interesting.
And
We've always loved Chloe.
Yeah, she's been my
No.
favorite since the
Coco,
get-go.
Kegels,
Coco Kegels.
Coco and Kegels.
Anybody who will put those balls up their vagina.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Fearless.
man.
Fearless.
Okay, here's something else. So remember when they went to go stake out, you know, a new location for Dash, and this other girl, I forget her name, but she's like she manages their
Yeah.
stores
Yeah.
or something. I don't know if you guys caught wind of her face, but like as they were
Right
looking
here.
at this, when the guy was showing them the space, she just had this like she just didn't care to be there, uninterested. So it made me wonder like how staged that was, like that whole moment, because she just was kind of looking around like she could give to, you know, she didn't care.
Well, their Miami store was a mess, so I don't think she really does care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
well-
really doesn't take her job too seriously.
I don't know. She just looked very uninterested. And
Was
I was
she
just like, okay, is this real?
Was she the same one that told Chloe, like, oh, you should carry Kim's baby?
Was
Or
she the
told
one?
Kourtney that you should. Because one of their little workers told them that.
One
and
of
I'm
their
just
little
like,
workers.
who are you?
Maybe.
I don't think it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it when they were all like sitting around the table and?
Yeah, I think that was
not-
her. I think that was her.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of bogus.
Yeah. It was kind of, you know.
Rude.
So
Rude.
rude. Silence of the lamb. Crickets.
Oh
Crickets.
man!
Crickets.
Oh wow!
What else happened in this episode?
I feel like
Baby's life and alibis. And
Well,
that's it for the show.
the truth about fertility, you know, Kim is
Do
undercover.
you know what did happen? I saw a little bit of abuse. Like, I know I've been like pro Scott all night, but did you see when he pushed Kourtney
Onto the
away
bed?
from the mirror? I mean, the window when she was
Yeah.
trying. It was like I was like, whoa, man! Like I even like looked at my boyfriend. I was like, does this look like abuse?
Don't you
Like,
ever do
oh,
that to me.
Wow! like he shoved her, and Scott's little. I don't know how he had that much force, especially as he was drunk at the time.
I don't know. I think it was kind of out of love.
Like,
Out
you're
of
across
love?
the room.
Because she was laughing. No?
He hurts me, but he loves me.
Yeah.
Love is not abuse, okay?
Love is not abuse.
What are we missing anything?
Let's talk
here?
about Scott's binger.
Oh
Because
God.
I loved that. I thought it was so funny. Because that's how everybody drinks, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's not excessive, and I like
Yeah.
the fact that Kourtney's like, no, you're not going to be in the house when you're like this.
Yeah.
You know, so I appreciate her standing up for her kids because no kid needs to be around them.
And I like that Kourtney. It was interesting to see that Kourtney called Scott's mom, and that she, you know, and when she called the mom, she was like, you know, I love you, and it sounded like they have a really great relationship, and that's
Yeah.
kind of, you don't usually see Scott's parents or
Yeah.
hear about his life.
Yeah.
So that was like a very interesting. I know it was very short, but I was like, oh wow, like
But if I was
Scott's
Scott, I'd
parents
be
were
kind
very
of pissed.
involved.
Why?
Like, leave my mom out of this.
Well, that's grandma.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
grandma. Like
yeah, she's part of the family.
She's part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
and if he's not listening to Kourtney and he's not listening to, you know, like his other family around him, his mom, you know, if he's probably a mama's boy, like he's an only child. Let's be real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you guys think that Scott's up to no good?
No, I don't. I think he might like to party, and I think maybe he likes to, indulge a little, but it's nothing different than the behavior that we've seen from him, like, for the past couple years.
Yeah.
Now, does he have to, like, change it up a little bit since he's a dad of 2? Yeah, but I don't think he's cheating. I don't think he's doing anything, like, outlandish, no.
I agree. I don't think he's ever going to be unfaithful. I think he likes to flirt, and he's a flirty guy, which is, that's who he is. She's got to deal with that.
And it's also human nature. It's healthy to flirt, a little healthy flirting here and there. It's not going to kill
Yeah, it
anybody.
just keeps you on your toes. But at the same time, we all know that, those two, they lead double lives. We've heard it the whole season. They sleep in separate bedrooms. They're really not, I don't know, lovey-dovey.
Do you think they would still be together if they didn't have kids?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think for both of them, both their personalities and both their backgrounds, I don't think a kid would make them stay together. I think that if they were both really unhappy, I think they would go their separate ways.
Especially in, like, the type of life they're in and the type of social group they hang out with. A lot of people get divorced and they don't care.
Yeah.
In kind of that hierarchy, or I don't know, reality.
And they're not even, they're not married. I'm not saying that that relationship isn't as significant as if they were to be married, but I think that, if they were both really unhappy, I think that they would walk away from it if it came down to it. You know what I mean? Because I think Kourtney's responsibility changed, that, like, she has kids now. It's not just about her and Scott. Like, if the kids are going to grow up and see unhappy parents, I think she'd rather just them see 2 happy separate parents.
Yeah.
And I mean, and Kourtney comes from, her parents got divorced. She understands how that goes, and she had a great stepfather in Bruce, even though they didn't get along very well. But I don't think she's scared of divorce, but I think she also respects marriage a lot.
Of course. Well, she's not married, so I wouldn't say she respects marriage a lot, but I think she respects family a lot.
Yeah. I kind of like that they haven't gotten married.
Me too.
I don't think you should get married just because you have kids.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think it definitely has to be right for the people. And I think at the end of the day, their kids are better off with 2 happy parents who are unmarried versus 2 parents who are fighting and at each other's throats being married.
Well, because I think even with what he's doing now with the drinking and everything, if they were married, she'd almost feel like she has a little bit more ownership and be like, no, you're not going to drink. But now she's a little more lax, like, just don't do it in the house in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like when Scott goes out and drinks, like, it always seems like he's the wasted one. None of his friends seem to go
because none of his
as
friends
crazy
have
as
2
he
kids under the age of 5,
Well, and the
they're
show
not getting-
focuses on him.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
if
So
his
we don't
friends are
see that.
crazy, they're like, we don't care about his friends.
It was
That's
just,
true,
like,
that's
even
true.
seeing him at, like, the races, like, he's the one, like, trying to push over the golf cart. He's the one jumping on top. I don't know. It's just like,
well,
it seems strange to me that, like,
But that's the
he's
Lord.
almost 30.
Well,
It is
and
the
I think
Lord.
he's
It
like
is
that
the
with or
Lord.
without
That's
alcohol. The Lord be with you. But
That's
you,
how the Lord rolls.
yeah, don't you think that's his personality? Like, he would do something crazy without alcohol?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I guess he
So
did shoot an alligator last week.
Oh,
that was
Oh my
horrible.
God.
That was.
But
What's your take on that?
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe they showed that on television.
Okay, good.
I
agreed.
I was sick. I had
couldn't
no
believe it
words.
either.
I
Yeah.
was blown away by the fact that they showed him shooting that.
I was actually really disappointed that they showed it.
I was
didn't
too.
like it at all. It was poor taste. You texted PETA.
I didn't
PETA?
text PETA, but I tweeted PETA.
Oh, sorry. Tweeted. My bad.
Peter and
You
Tori
tweeted
Spelling both released statements about it, though.
really.
Oh.
Yeah,
They're
that was
both
sad.
pissed, obviously.
Yeah.
And my roommate did make a good like point about it. She's like, you know what? Like, the fact that they did show it, it's making it more of a statement, because at the end, obviously, Scott, it comes full circle, and Scott's like, I should have never done that. Like, it was a horrible thing that I did. And it was so shocking that people are talking about it and saying how wrong it is. And it's like, okay, well, think where all of our food comes from. Obviously, we don't shoot all of our food in the head, but I mean, that's what, like, they all die in some manner.
Of course.
That's an interesting point, though.
Yeah, no, it is a very interesting point.
I don't agree with it, but, like, I mean, I don't agree with shooting the alligator on TV, but I love alligators.
But we are pescatarian, vegetarian.
You know.
I got something to throw out at you guys. Do you think possibly that the reason why Kourtney and Scott aren't married could be a financial thing, just because, you know, the Kardashians and all the money and the contracts and all that? Do you think it could be a money thing?
No. I think if he didn't come from money, and I mean, they've been together since before the show started. So I think he kind of has grown with them in it. So he's got to have his own. He's got to have his own money too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, there was one time when it was Kourtney and Khloe take Miami, and Scott was not in the picture at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just had to throw that out
Yeah.
there to y'all.
It's
Had to throw
interesting.
it out there.
Did you guys catch Kim at the very end of the episode where she's like, "Did you find anything good?" That did you? How
like
did you
she-
guys? It's like kind of like she. Kinda,
She's wanting to find something, and just like you said at the very beginning, if you go sniffing for something, if you go looking for something, you're gonna find something, you know. And again, it's none of her business.
It is
This
some.
creepy man. Look at him right now.
I
like,
mean,
climbing
it
the
is
car.
her business because that's her sister. But I think that she, instead of talking to Khloe about it, I think she would have been like, "Hey, Court, how do you feel about maybe whatever?" I mean, it's invasion of privacy, you know.
It is, and she eats really bad. You notice she's always eating some junk.
They always eat out too. They never cook.
Oh please, come on! Are you surprised
Yeah.
they don't
No,
cook?
I'm really not.
And well, Keetin and I were saying that this season she looked like she was getting pregnant, and you know we definitely have our YouTube, iTunes commenter that like, "Shut up, you don't know shit." But you know what? She reveals that she's
She reveals it
pregnant.
at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, she
So
totally
bad.
reveals it at the end. And I don't think she would have revealed. I mean, obviously, well, we're not spoiling anything that comes up for the season finale, but I don't think she would have revealed that not unless she were a full 3 months.
Yeah, I agree.
So she clearly was pregnant this whole time, just like we said.
Well, and not like she's like
Well, not the
huge or
whole
anything,
time.
but
She's
you can
not
tell that she's
huge.
put on weight.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way.
No.
She just looks
She,
pregnant.
I mean, she rocks the curves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually have got a little news and gossip as it relates to that stuff when we get to it a little later. But yeah, so yeah, we were right. Hello. Spoiler, whatever. We know what we're talking about.
Like, where is this shadiness?
That's
right
what
here?
I'm curious about. Whose home is
See,
that?
I think it's going to be like Danny or, you know, you
Oh,
remember
yeah, maybe
like
Dan-
somebody like that. I don't think it's, and I think
don't
the
think it's a
PI
woman?
is going to be like, oh, he's sneaking around with a lesbian. And then, you know,
I think he's gonna be trying. I think he's gonna be planning something for Kourtney, and it's gonna be. They're gonna find out it's something really sweet. She might accuse him of something, and
maybe
then
he'll
it's gonna-
propose.
Oh.
But wouldn't we have known that Kourtney's engaged?
That's true.
Yeah, they.
I feel like the Kardashians would hold off on an
On that,
announcement or
you
something
think?
to make it like big news on the show.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know though.
Maybe. Oh my, Aaron's killing me.
Interesting. Well, you guys, did we miss anything? I
No.
feel like we've captured it all.
I feel like we
Thank
did
you.
capture it all.
All right, well let's skip
Did
to
we?
some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so no surprise here. We know Kim Kardashian is pregnant, but lately she's been all over the tabloids for her fluctuating weight, you know? And actually, what's her name? Helena Christensen, she used to be a model, is like standing up for her and defending her, like saying, okay, she's pregnant. Like,
We
what do
talked about this last week. I mean, she's pregnant. What
Yeah,
the
I
hell
think
is there
that's.
to talk
I
about?
think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
When people are gonna. That's like with Jessica Simpson. Like, yes,
Yeah,
she was
she's-
big, but she's having a baby. Like,
and she's a voluptuous woman.
Yeah.
She has curves, and it's like, what the hell do you think
well,
is
and
going
I
to happen
think
to
both of those girls are
voluptuous
so
women?
little, like short,
Yeah.
that everything just looks so much wider on TV, anyways. You know what I mean, though?
Well, yeah.
So
But
I don't know. Leave her alone.
I mean, with her weight, it's like leave her alone. You know. Let's talk about what they're trying to name their.
Yes, I'm getting
Their
to that next.
Northeast.
So that was a rumor that they were going to be naming the child North, which is crazy. Obviously,
Northeast.
North. Yeah.
Oh, Easton. She said on
Easton.
an interview that she
Yeah.
wants to name him
Easton.
Easton.
North.
Him. She says him, and then she gets caught by the interviewer.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and she's like, or her. Easton could work either way.
Well,
East and West.
Hollywood gossip is saying that they want to name their baby Cash, regardless of the sex.
That's my roommate's dog's name.
K is
With a K.
Cash with a K.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, quite a few people.
Yeah, Cash Warren.
Yeah, I, think
I
it's
heard
a
it
cool
was going to be
name.
Christ with a K.
I heard that too. I would love that. I think that'd be
Christ
so
West.
funny.
They will be like the first ones in hell for that one.
I think the baby should have a hyphenated name though, like Kardashian.
Like they would
Kardashian.
have a
Dash
mansion
West.
in hell.
Dash
for that
West.
one.
Well, that's, I mean, who knows, you know, there's going to be a million rumors swirling around, especially if she gets more closer to having the child.
And no
but-
matter how we feel about Kim, and no matter how nosy she can act at times, we want her to have a safe pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
and a healthy baby.
Healthy baby.
And I want him to name it a K name.
Yeah, Kanye. Why wouldn't they keep it
Of
Kanye?
course they
Kim,
would.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye. Yeah.
Although Easton, when I heard Easton, I was like, as silly as that is, I think that's such a cute name.
Yeah, I like
Easton
that.
is.
Easton, yeah.
Just
But
Easton
not
West.
West. East. Oh,
on.
But
that's
not
stupid.
for if your last name is West. I
Yeah.
just think Easton is
Easton.
a
If
cute
his last name was
Easton's
Kardashian,
cute.
Yeah.
that's fine.
But Easton West is just, you're going to get beat up on freaking playground.
First of all, Easton West will have his own playground, so I
That's
don't think he
true.
has to
Not
worry
a
about
problem.
name.
I mean, but think of Blue Ivy. Like, nobody's gonna make fun of Blue Ivy.
Right.
Blue Ivy Carter. Yeah, I
Aw.
guess. And then the last piece, I don't know if this popped up, but we all know when Beyonce was pregnant, there was a ton of rumors swirling around that she faked her pregnancy. And there's still a lot of, conspiracy theorists that think that perhaps she had a surrogate for her pregnancy and faked it. And the same rumors are out there about Kim. And
You can't.
I think if you watch the show, the rumors aren't true because you see her growing. Unless,
Yeah.
You know,
she
you
could
know.
be patting herself.
And you can't call a girl fat, like who's pregnant.
Yeah, you
and
just
then,
can't. That's
and then
just
say that
morally
she's
wrong.
faking
Yeah.
her pregnancy.
Well, obviously
like, come
these are
on.
What?
different,
Her conversation
stories.
with Scott here, she's like, oh my God, I've been eating like a monster. I can't wait to go to Serafina. I'm like, I'm just eating like a monster. And she's just, she's pregnant. She's eating.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Good. Well,
I know when I'm pregnant, I'm going to be like fucking 1,000 pounds.
Even
Me
when
too.
they're
I'm gonna
not
eat
having babies, I'm gonna
everything
eat.
inside.
Well,
Everything.
I have to say, I want to play devil's advocate because there's one blog that I read in particular quite a bit, MediaTakeout.com. Love you, MediaTakeout.com. Anyway, and I think it was a couple days ago, but they showed various pictures, and it was of her on the same day wearing different outfits. And I have to say, like, there are a couple pictures where one, she really looked like, she had a belly, and in the next shot, like, just no belly. So I
Well,
don't
maybe
know.
that she wore that same dress 6 months ago.
I don't know. It's just a little bump watch, but
I don't
just
know.
saying.
The way
She looks pregnant.
yeah, I
okay?
think she's.
And the way she's dressing with all these tight clothes, I mean, I know she's getting so much like rap, and just everyone's being so mean to Kim right now with her style. But I think she's, whatever. If you want to wear tight clothes when you're pregnant, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm not like how do I? Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay.
No, I want to hear it now.
I do
No,
want
I
to hear.
say
You
it.
can't do that.
The thing is why, maybe with Beyonce, her body, like her face, she didn't gain a lot of weight on her face. I'm not saying that Kim gained a lot of weight on her face, but you can tell she has that pregnancy, little bit of like that weight, a little bit of that glow in her,
Yeah.
and so it's
But
like,
I think Beyonce was working out and on tour and dancing the whole time.
but
So
because
she's,
Beyonce is an entertainer, she
so
dances.
she's in a
and she
different kind of
sings.
shape
Yeah.
than Kim, where Kim
This is
just
true.
does not as strenuous exercises. So it's,
And
Yeah.
Kim, and I just feel like Kim is a little bit more curvier than Beyonce.
Yeah, she is.
You know?
She
Yeah.
is.
Kim's
All
a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just reporting
You
to
just
y'all.
want her to
God.
have a healthy pregnancy.
I'm just
Yeah, she's
reporting,
really pregnant.
From the streets, letting y'all know what people are saying. That's it.
they're horrible out there.
Well, next week is the season finale.
Sunday.
Next Sunday. So maybe let's go around. Want to hear a few predictions about what we think is coming?
And now,
I'll let you go first.
your AfterBuzz TV.
Predictions.
Yeah, I think this is gonna blow up in Kim's face. I think that Scott is up to something, but I think it's something good.
I'm
you
gonna
think?
say they're gonna get engaged.
Ooh.
Just going crazy. That's what he's
Go
up to.
crazy.
Okay.
I think, as I've been saying all along, we're gonna find out Mercy is dead.
Mercy.
Mercy is going to be dead, and Kim apparently jumps in a car to announce her pregnancy. I'm like, in the previews, I'm so pissed that she announces it.
I
in
love
a
how
car.
Kourtney throws her clothes out the balcony.
that's
I know.
awesome.
That shit was funny. My prediction, I think all this PI investigating is going to blow up in Kim's face royally. And I'm with you. I'm a little disappointed that she announced her pregnancy in a car, no makeup on, with the, I wanted it to be fabulous.
She's like, I have to tell you something.
I wanted her to pop out of a cake and say,
I know. Be like, I'm not a gold digger. I'm just pregnant. Well, we'll have to. You guys have to tune in next Sunday to find out if our predictions come true for the season finale. All right, thanks guys for tuning in. Be sure to download the show for free on iTunes. Make sure you rate us and also make your comments because we always read them and comment back on them. So thank you.
Where can we find you?
Oh yeah, where you can find everybody. My bad.
On Twitter, Instagram, and soundtracking at It's Susan Hahn.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jason Ikeler.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well on KeetinM33.
Oh God, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You can find me on Twitter at GoToGirlTV.
That's because she has no Instagram followers.
Shut up.
From
I'm
Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.